Paul Bear interviews popular YouTuber All in Crypto, and they talk about the price of XRP and their predictions. We'll also talk about what will move the price of XRP in the next few months. We've talked a lot about this on the channel, but it's great to hear other people talk about it, so let's get started. Let's do this. I have a lot of other Ripple and XRP news for you guys. You won't want to miss this whole show if you can. My goal price for XRP has always been around $60 in the next 12 months, okay? It's getting everyone excited, even the president of the free world talking about crypto. Things are getting worse, and when it comes to its own news, Ripple is in a kind of unique situation. I believe that people are not optimistic enough. I think you're going to see some crazy things. The price we think XRP will reach in the near future is around 1927s, and that comes from the triangle that everyone is looking at. How do you value XRP besides that? That's the thing, though. That's when you talk about blue ocean finding, because if XRP is close to $20, it means a big thing has happened. We have, of course, ETFs and the possibility that 401k funds will move into Ripple and XRP. I think it will be a mix of these things, but I think the link to the money system is more important, and that will be what replaces SWIFT. So all of those things that set things off, get back to your point. And I've heard crazy amounts. I don't think we'll see XRP go from $500 to $1,000 anytime soon. Barrett says that those who want a $500 or $1,000 XRP are crazy. It was those crazy numbers. This seems like the safest way to do things, right? It's simple to say that XRP will reach $1,000. People will accept you if more than 100,000 people watch you, trust you, and listen to what you say. But if it doesn't happen when they think it will, it could mess up the lives of a lot of people. Because you need to know, right? People are just people. They look up to people who have been in the space for a long time, have signed NDAs, and are connected, right? These people owe it to the people who follow them to give them all the facts and information. Putting it this way, we're going to go to $1,000 if this happens, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens, and this happens. Okay, if the world dies, everything will be based on XRP, and Tether will fail. Japan's economy will also fail. From now on, everything will be on XRP if these things happen in 5 months. I just don't think that's the right place to tell or give that information to folks. Stop it, please. Let's keep going. Is there something coming up with it? Who knows? My price goal has always been around $60 in the next 12 months. And that depends on these specific catalysts continuing to play out, if they do. If you look at the price action right now, I'll just go over the chart for you guys. One thing we've been keeping an eye on is our sentiment. This is a chart trading tool that we made a few years ago that tracks trade sentiment. It tracks all the sentiment on social media and then overlays that into a Pine script that we made for tracking this. It's called the MSI Market Sentiment Index, and we track two main things. This was an all-time high MSI on XRP in, what was that right there, in mid-July. Additionally, there was that run-up that was going on at that time. After that, we had another one right here. The date of this one was August 3rd, which is another run-up. Prices usually move when we see the MSI reacting to general sentiment, and it has to do with how strong this group is. That means this will work because of you. You're one of the coolest people in the world. Not many people are like you, right? There could be only a few million people in the world who see what you see. Maybe not at the same level as you, because some of the people who watch this show are very skilled. There are people in the middle. Is it true that they can't see how your mind works, right? Also, the new banking system isn't built on the same old rails that have been used for 50 years. The idea comes from this new technology that young people are starting to use. People who were bored 10 or 15 years ago will never know about the old banking system, right? In about 3 or 4 years, they should get a bank account, right? With an 18 or 21-year-old, unless their parents give them money or an account, let's not talk about that. They will never understand how hard it was to deal with the old system. Okay, do you remember before iPhones? What should we do? Does anyone remember someone whose home phone had a big wire that went through the whole house? It was so easy to trip over. Okay, let's get back on track. It says digital asset investor posted, but I have no idea how big this beast will be. The XRP and Ripple. You can't take XRP away once you stop believing the lies and being led astray. You can see yourself in it. Now, Paul Barron's eyes are really open, hot. People are getting criticized for making crazy price estimates for XRP. We really don't know how big this monster is going to be. That's exactly what I meant. If it meets the goals it set out to do, which seems likely based on comments from people like the president. People have a very small idea of how big XRP really is, and it will need that liquidity to make all of this possible. This is fine when he talks about the president. Know what he means? Trump has said many times that he wants other countries to use American innovation. In what he says, he generally means that the current financial system is out of date and needs to be updated to something like crypto or blockchain infrastructure, which makes the most sense. That's the safest. It is not organized. It moves the fastest. Okay, you go to businesses like Ripple, which has RippleNet. That's pretty much their message service. XRP can be added and sent along with the cash. Well, you don't have to. You can just hold your breath and the payment will be there in 3 to 5 seconds. That's what will happen. That's the truth. There it is, the disruptor. This is a great time to be living and in the crypto space. The leader of the free world is being talked about. Yes, okay. That goes on for a long time and basically takes time to talk about a banking system. That is old and writes his model into crypto right away. You know that he has David Sachs controlling one of his ears, right? Then you start to think that there may be another ear that is out in the open right now that has a lot to do with both the US government and the payment system that has been being built for almost 30 years, okay? And we're talking about the PayPal gang, which you all know. We all know who David Sachs is now. Another one of the main founders of PayPal is an AI. He is in a very special situation, as is Elon Musk and another man named Peter Thiel. Aren't those three men interesting? They are all close friends of the President of the United States. Not any longer, right? I think Elon Musk is in the bathroom. They broke up. In other words, Peter Thiel does have ties to J.D. Vance, right? If you look at J.D. Vance's work history, you'll see that he is now the Vice President of the United States. However, if you look at J.D. Vance's career, you'll see that Peter Thiel gave him a number of jobs and helped pay for his run for Senate. After that, he put Trump in touch with J.D. Vance. Peter Thiel did everything, okay? That's why Peter Thiel's companies are getting some good things out of those links. Still, look it up. It's pretty cool. It is very interesting. Does the vector not really, it's kind of out in the open now. Surely this quickly points to something. Sooner or later, a president would step up and give the people of the United States what they wanted, which was crypto law and crypto innovation. Okay, I think it was during the time they were in office, I think they did a great job of making it a priority, right? It will be wonderful when the Clarity Act is signed into law, right? I will be looking for and hoping for some kind of rules about being able to spend. You know that the government puts about 1% to 2% of its money into digital assets, right? We have to save money every year for the next generation because we need it. We don't make enough money right now and spend too much. Also, we would want to get as much of this stuff as we can if the crypto market is going to have one of the biggest booms in the next 10 to 20 years, right? So I hope that the US and the Trump government make those changes. If and when they do, I'll be so happy. Okay. For Ripple XRP Ledger, this was a big month for OpenEden. The value of its real-world assets rose by 32.27%, and D5 TVL went up by 19%. Because of this, OpenEden is happy to be at the top of the XRP Ledger League table for growth in the last 30 days. This is OpenEden. Don't forget that OpenEden is working on turning treasuries into tokens on the XRP ledger. That is a very important thing. This will keep getting bigger. The US bond market is worth $29.6 trillion right now, the last time I checked. Okay, take a look at the world's bond market, which is about $140 trillion. So being able to add this value to the chain will be very important, right? That way they'll know who has what and what needs to be paid out right away. We are now in the future. These are the new tracks. It's really cool to see. Month-to-month growth, I also wanted to check this out to see if there was anything else I missed. The question is, what's making the real-world assets on the XRP system grow? Because this is something I wanted to understand better. Analysts say that Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin is the most obvious catalyst, and it's being used more and more. The new stablecoin from Ripple, RLUSD, is quickly becoming the most popular digital settlement layer for the XRP ledger. It is driving settlement use cases and drawing high-level tokenizations of real-world assets. Constitutional and institutional players looking for solid infrastructure, low fees, and high scalability, like how stable it is and how well it follows the rules. We don't need to talk about that. Protocols for institutional involvement in the real world, such as OpenEden, have taken advantage of the extra efficiency. OpenEden has been #1 on the Extra World Asset League table for the past 30 days, which shows that it was one of the first to accept US tokenized funds. Beautiful. You are going to say, Sensei, isn't that also what Ondo and Ripple do? To be honest, I think you're right. Keep an eye on that. Even though XRP Ledger only had 9 big real-world asset listings, it grew very quickly by focusing on large, well-known asset tokenizations, which led to higher value per listing compared to networks like Arbitrum or Plume. You also have a lot of DeFi energy and push. Where do you think the growth of XRP Ledger mobile assets will